Hare Krishna. My name is Blaze. I'm a monk in training here in Austin, Texas. I stay in a temple, and I met my lovely friend Vish here out at Zilker Park while I was distributing books. But long before that, I was in high school in Austin, Texas. 17 years old. Kind of had an interesting childhood between my mother and my father, and I ended up in Austin, Texas somehow or other. And here there's a lot of people, I guess, trying to recreate the hippie scene that was, in the 60s and 70s, through like drugs, through alcohol, through parties. So I was very much involved in that just as a high schooler. I was 16, 17, drinking incredible amounts of alcohol, like much more than the average adult. I'm surprised I never ended up in the hospital. Anyway, one day I was walking along with my friend downtown, and we just see this big festival going on at Auditorium Shores. And I really liked reggae at the time, and it was reggae festival. So like, wow, this is really cool. So we go check it out, and as soon as we walk up, just this monk just hands us some books, and it's like, here's some books in yoga and meditation. And I will admit I didn't actually really give him much attention. He was mainly talking to my friend a little bit about it. He handed us Bhagavad Gita, which is like the main book we study, and then an introduction book called The Science of Self-Realization. So I thought it was cool. Didn't really, I wasn't very aware, so I wasn't able to actually grasp it very well. But my friend talked to him most of the time. He ended up, giving a small donation for the books. And then we went about our day. Went back to, the reggae festival, just absorbed in material illusion, as the Vedas say. But I ended up asking him, I was like, hey, do you want those? And he was like, nah, here you go. He just didn't even think of them that much. And I guess I didn't really either at the time, because it was just like, yeah, here you go. So I took them home. They sat on my shelf for a very, very long time. About 2.5, 3 years, it just sitting on my shelf. And my levels of intoxicating myself it continued to grow. I got more and more in ignorance. But they also gave me this small little pamphlet. It was a mantra meditation guide. And I remember reading something in it. It was like, if just 1% of this entire world takes to this practice, a golden age of spiritual consciousness can be awakened. And the only question, it's already going to happen. It's already predicted. But the only question is if we will be part of that. So that really, I meditated on that for a really long time. I didn't actually try the meditation process, but I hung it up on my wall right next to my bed. And one day I was having a really, mystical experience. I was definitely intoxicated, and I was just like, what is this all about? So I tried it, and wow, it was incredibly blissful. Just by saying the sacred vibrations of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. I felt this golden consciousness they were talking about. And it's not that it just immediately was like, boom, okay, this is it, I'm going to give everything up. But slowly, gradually, I started picking up the books, checking it, wondering about it, checking it out, trying the meditation more and more. And then around 2 years later, after I finally opened them and had been kind of practicing, I ended up staying in a temple in Kansas City for just 5 days. That was in June, so right around exactly 11 months ago is when I went and stayed at this temple. And ever since then, I've been taking it seriously. I've been doing our mantra meditation, which is we chant on these beads, the mantra that I just said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. We go on each bead all the way around. and that's considered 1 round. I do about 16 every day. That's the goal. But yeah.
Show us again, if you don't mind, how that works.
So we have it in this little bag. It keeps them protected because they're sacred. But I'll pull them out so you can see. So this is the head bead. You don't chant on that, but you use your middle finger and you say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You go to the next bead, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You go all the way around. There's 108 beads, and that's 1 round. So yeah, I when I stayed at the temple, I really tasted this nectar, this bliss that they're talking about. I still had bad habits, but they slowly started to leave my life. And what I really realized is all of these things, this is the realization I very recently came to, is that all of these things that I was doing and putting in myself, it's all external. And I'm chasing this high to get to this place. But with anything in this material world, it's temporary, just like these bodies are temporary. Like, we have to die someday. With these intoxicants I was taking, I was getting high and then coming down and then just feeling miserable. So what would I do? I'd do it again, and just over and over, but I wasn't actually going up. I was going down, 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 down. But what's crazy about this is it's actually not a material thing like these substances. It's something that is infinitely upwards, and the high never stops. There was an old saying, it's stay high forever. Just through these deep mantric meditations. So yeah, I guess that's where I am now. I'm actually training to be a monk. I'm staying in the temple here in Austin, under the shelter of Sankarshan Das Adhikari. We call him Guru Dev. And I've really completely transformed my life, and I'm not perfect or anything, but definitely slowly a lot of things that are bad and negative are just disappearing. It's really amazing. Hare Krishna.